Happy 2014, everybody. This is Reg Knight, aka Dad Smackison, coming to you from the newly renovated Smackison Kitchen in Suffolk, Virginia. And of course, brought to you by Smackison's Gourmet Pepper Sauces and the soon to be added on your grocery shelves, our Dynamite Spice Rubs. It's cold, it's winter, it's snowing right now, it's going to be snowing later today. There's nothing like hot, fresh, steaming bread right out of your oven with a nice bowl of soup to give you that winter comfort glow. We're going to show you how to do that today. We're going to start with the bread first. Bread is really easy to make. Some people are intimidated by it, but it's really simple. Bread consists of really simple things: yeast, sugar, water, a good flour, and for my recipe, I use a little bit of vegetable oil. You can use olive oil, but you don't have to. And a little bit of salt, kosher salt, sea salt, whatever you like. So we're going to show you how to do that today, from soup to nuts. You can do so much with this bread. You can just slice it off and have it on a sandwich. You can make a nice pizza with it. Super Bowl is coming up next week. We're going to show you how to make a dynamite buffalo chicken soup. We'll have some wings later on this week. We'll do a ton of things to make your Super Bowl party top notch, top shelf, right here on Smackison's Kitchen today. Real simple. You're going to take about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of warm water. And you're going to take about 2.5 tablespoons, 1 packet of yeast, and about 2 tablespoons of sugar. You need the sugar because the sugar is going to activate the yeast. It's going to wake the yeast up, and you're going to let it sit. Take a spoon, give it a stir, and let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes until it's nice and foamy. So we're going to wait 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll keep going. Okay, 10 minutes have elapsed, and as you can see that the yeast and the sugar and the water mixture is nice and foamy, which is exactly what you want, because if your yeast doesn't foam, throw it away, get some more. Your bacteria is dead, and your dough will not rise. You'll have a nice, hard, crusty, and probably not very tasty flatbread. Okay, so we continue. So what we're going to do to this is that we're going to start off by adding a cup of bread flour. Now, I'll let Alton Brown tell you the difference between bread flour as opposed to all-purpose flour. But the simple thing is this: bread flour makes your dough crispier, your end product crispier. All-purpose flour, you can get a nice bread, but it won't taste as nice as bread flour. So we're going to add about a cup, let it get started. We're going to add about a tablespoon of salt, and we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You can use olive oil, soybean, whatever you got, and give it a nice stir. Basically what that's going to do is that it's going to start combining all those things you put in the pot first. It's not going to even resemble dough because you're going to start adding more ingredients to it. You're going to take more flour rather, probably about 3 or 4 cups, and every time that you add a cup to it, just take your spoon and stir it. You want to stir it until it starts forming a soft ball. And I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. Okay, it's getting there. We're going to add 1 more cup of flour. And what you're looking for as you add this flour is that you put enough flour in until it forms a soft ball and it's pulling away from the bowl. And that will allow you to work with it so you don't get as much on your hands. And I'll show you what it looks like. At this point, you're able to put it on your countertop and you can knead it. Okay, so after several cups, which you got a nice paste, I'm gonna add a little bit more. because you want to add enough bread flour so it'll easily separate from the bowl and it'll be a little easier for you to work with. Doesn't look like bread right now, but stay with me. Believe me, it will be. Okay, that looks good. Okay, next thing you want to do is take a little bit of flour and put it on your working surface. Now, I have a dough scraper, and you can get these at any store for a couple of bucks. If you don't have a scraper, it's not a showstopper. It just makes it a lot easier. You can use a bit of cardboard with a little bit of aluminum to make a field expedient scraper, but it's best if you go get one. Target, Walmart, all the major retailers have. Oops. All right. Then I take a little bit more bread flour and I put it on top and I start to work my dough. Now, it's important that you knead this dough. And basically what you're doing is that you're folding it into each other and you're taking the stickiness out. This increases the gluten. It'll make it soft and fluffy, but crisp on the outside. And what you'll do is that once you get it to the point where it's not sticking on your hands, is that you want to take it and fold it into itself. Keep folding into itself until it's no longer sticky when you add flour to it. And you will have to add more flour to it until you get to the consistency that you want. This normally takes anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes of kneading, and it just depends. There's a lot of things that I told you, it's cold and snowy outside. If it's dry, it'll take a little bit less dough. If it's wet and rainy outside, it'll take a little bit more flour. So you'll just have to kind of play with it. And hey, it's good therapy. Okay, so you want to work the dough until it's smooth and satiny and not sticky to the touch. Anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes. Once you finish, and you can pick it up and you can touch it and it's not sticking to your hands, you know you're just about there. And then you'll leave it flat on the counter and you'll give it a little shimmy. So now this has to rise to become bread. Now you can take this now and roll it out and make flat bread out of it. You can fry it and it would probably be pretty good. But to make it really good, it needs to rise. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a couple of tablespoons of oil to a clean bowl. And we're gonna take our bread dough and we're gonna put it inside and roll it around. Just give it a nice and toss. Do that so the bread won't dry out while it's rising. And that's gonna double in size. So we're gonna take it and put it someplace where it's warm and there's no drafts. I normally put it in my oven with the oven turned off. And this is gonna take about an hour to rise. So I'll show you what it looks like in about an hour. Well, it's been an hour and you can see that our dough has doubled. It looks pretty good. We're gonna flour the board. We're gonna do a couple of things with it. We're gonna make it a traditional loaf with some cayenne pepper and some garlic, some melted butter, a little kosher salt. And then we're gonna make a traditional loaf. So let's take a look and see what you do with it. Okay, we got the bread cut into the bread dough cut into half, and we're gonna take a pan and we're gonna just put a little bit of vegetable oil instead of a stick, and we're gonna take it and just roll it into a loaf. We're gonna roll it into each other. We're gonna turn those corners in and we're gonna plop it in the pan just like that. Easy peasy. For the second piece, we're gonna take a rolling pin and we're gonna Roll it out. Roll it out like a pizza. That's pretty good. And we've got a mixture of cayenne pepper, some garlic, some melted butter. And we're gonna brush this over the top of it. Then we're gonna fold it to the inside. This is some of the best bread that you're ever gonna eat. Really delicious. It's moist and juicy, a little bit spicy, not really spicy, but it's got all the flavors that you like to dip your bread in. Well, you won't have to because it'll already be contained from the inside out. So we're gonna go ahead and get that all painted over. And then we're gonna roll it like a cigar. Taking one edge and we're gonna roll it. We're gonna roll it as tight as we can. And if a little bit of the butter leaks out, that's okay. Heat and time will take care of that. So what you're doing is that you're making a tight loaf. It's gonna rise again and it'll take care of all those little imperfections. And you'll take those corners again and you'll, oven's ready. Roll it up. And we're gonna put it on a silicone pan. I'm gonna take what's left of that and I'm gonna brush the top of it. Then we're going to take a knife and make little incisions in it. This just isn't for looks, this is so the steam can escape. So it'll be nice and crispy, just like a spicy French loaf. Okay? We're going to pop this into a 425-degree oven for about 25-30 minutes until it's golden brown. Then we're going to take our traditional loaf and do exactly the same for about the same time. So our bread is out of the oven after 35-40 minutes. Nice and golden brown. Crispy on the outside, it's still moist on the inside. You want to let it rest. Don't cut it for about half an hour. I know that it's tempting, but if you cut it before it cools, it'll all clump together and it won't make a very good loaf at all. So there you have it. Really easy. You can do a lot with this. You can make pizza dough with this. You can make empanadas. It's a very versatile dough. We're going to show you how to put this together for your Super Bowl party all this week. We're doing chicken wings and a few other things. This is Dad Smackison coming to you again from Smackson's Kitchens, from our table to yours, hoping that you'll have a blessed 2014 and that you'll share in our joy of food in the weeks and the months to come. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.